Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Humayun Israr and you are watching my YouTube channel Tech Tutorials. Please subscribe to get new related videos. Today we will learn how to create a database application using MS SQL Server. So I have created my DB as a database and employee table with some records. So now I will create an application to connect to this database and then perform some operations. For this purpose, now I will execute my Android Studio and then will create a project, empty project, next, and I will save this project on my desktop in a folder named DB app. In order to create a database connection with our database, we need to download a file called JTDS, which is actually a driver. So you can download it from Google. Just simply type download JTDS-1.3.1.jar and then download it from this link. After downloading, you can have a zip file, which after extraction you will get this file. And then now what we need to do is we have to copy this file and then we will paste it in a folder which is available in our desktop, what we have created for this application, DB app. Inside DB app there is a folder called app. Inside this folder libs, and then paste it here. The next thing we need to do is copy this path and then in the project structure go to dependencies, go to app, and then add jar/AAR dependency. Paste this path here and then the name of the file. So we will take the name and then paste it here .jar. So this JTDS is actually a driver for JDBC. After adding this dependency, we have to go to manifest file and open Android manifest. Here we will add some permissions. So uses permissions. And then the first one is internet, and the next uses permission we need is for access network state. So these two uses permissions we will use. What we need to do, we have to create a database connection class, and then we can use that class in different activities. So right click on a folder containing the main activity and create a Java class and name it as DB connection. In this class we will create the connection with the database SQL Server. So first we will create a connection object, say con, and assign it as a null. We will create a method which will return a connection object, and we can name it as, for example, create connection. We will require some string type objects. IP, port, DB, username, password, and URL. which will be initialized as a null. So in this method we have created some string objects, and now we will assign these objects some values. IP is equal to 10.0.2.2 and port is equal to 1433. Then DB, so our DB name is mydb. You can see from here, so it is mydb, and the username for my connection is username is equal to homie, then password is equal to test123 is a password for this user. The next step, what I need to do, I have to apply strict mode dot thread policy. Strict mode dot thread policy is equal to new strict mode dot thread policy builder dot permit all. This permit all method will actually, you will see here, it will disable the detection of everything. So what strict mode actually do? Strict mode is most commonly used to cache the accidental disk and network access on the application's main thread. So this permit all will disable all the detection of everything, and the build method dot build will create the instance of this thread policy. Now we will set this thread policy by using strict mode dot set thread policy and policy. We will apply try catch to create the connection, catch with exception E, and we will capture it by using the log.e error comma e dot get message. So we have to import this class log. Press alt enter to import this class. Now the next thing is we have to apply class dot forName method. This forName method will actually create the instance of the class which is mentioned inside this string net dot sourceforge dot jtds dot jdbc dot driver. Then we will create this URL. So URL can be created like this. URL is equal to jdbc colon, sorry, this is URL, so I have to remove it. jdbc colon jtds colon SQL Server colon / plus the IP. We need IP plus we need colon again plus port plus semicolon, then database name is equal to, and database name is available in dn variable plus, sorry, it is db not dn, plus semicolon again, and then the user is equal to, user is available in un plus semicolon then password is equal to, it is available in PASS variable plus semicolon and then semicolon. Now we will use connection object what we have created in the beginning. So con is equal to driver manager dot get connection, and then we will apply URL here. We will pass URL here to create the connection. So after creating the connection, now we will return it. Return con. That's it. This is about database connection class. So now we will check whether this connection is created or not. So we will go to main activity, and then here we will create a connection object. Say for example CONN, and here we will use try catch. And we will catch this exception in log.e. error comma e dot get message. Press alt enter to import this class. Here we will create DB connection object, say connect, and we will initialize this con is equal to null. So connect is equal to new DB connection. So we have created a connection object, DB connection object, and then we will use con is equal to connect dot create connection. So create connection, the method we have created in the dbcon connection class. Now we will check if this con is not equal to null. It means we have established the connection, so we will use toast dot make text this and the message connection established. Toast dot length long dot show. So if this connection is not available, then in the else part, so in the else part we will apply the toast dot make text this connection not established. Dot show. So now we will execute our program. SQL Server Configuration Manager, you should make sure that all these three services are running: SQL Server, and then SQL Server Browser, and then SQL Server Agent. These three services are running for you, and also these protocols, shared memory, named pipe, and TCP IP are enabled. So if these are disabled, then you will not be able to create the connection. Now our Android emulator is ready to use, so run your application. You will observe here the message from the toast. So it says connection established. After establishing a connection with the database, our next task is to display the records from the table into the activity. So in order to save time, I have designed my activity with two text views and one list view. List view you can access from legacy, and then list view you can drag and down. I have to change the ID. I have changed the ID of list view as LV. Now we will go back to our main activity. Here we need some objects for statement object, which is used to execute the queries. st is equal to null, and then result set rs is equal to null, and we need string q empty string. Okay, so for this purpose what we need, if the connection is null, then we will not display this message, rather we will execute the query. So q is equal to select star from employee, then we need statement object is equal to, it can be created by using con dot create statement, and then you can get the results in the result set object by executing the statement using execute query method, and q is the argument you have to pass. So whatever the results are coming, it will be stored in rs in the result set in the form of a table. So we will apply while loop and rs dot next. This rs dot next method will do two things. Number one, it will move the cursor to the next point, next row. Initially it is above the first row, so rs dot next will move to the first record, and then also it will provide the true or false value. So if rs dot next is true, then we have to do something. So we have to accept the, so if we see the database, our database design is like this. We are having 4 columns: EID, integer, name, designation of type string, and then salary is double. So we will declare the variables in the same way: name, designation, and integer ID, and double salary. So inside this while loop, we will accept these values into id is equal to, because it is an integer, so we will use integer dot parse int, and then rs dot get string, and this is 1. So it will give you the first column, this one mean first column, and then we will get the name rs dot get string, column number 2, and then designation is equal to rs dot get string from column number 3, and then we will get the salary is equal to rs dot get. So you need to, because this is a double, so double dot parse double rs dot get string and column number 4, So this double dot parsable will convert the string into double value. We'll create a class in the same folder where we are having our main activity and DB connection class. So we will create a class with the same name, like employee table, and here we have integer id, string. We will declare some attributes: name, designation, and then double salary. What you need to do is you have to create the constructors and getter method. So it is very easy here. Right click, generate, and then constructor. So constructor for all four attributes. So it will create a constructor. We need another method which is called toString method. This toString method will actually return you the string of all these attributes, whatever we have in our class. And so now what we will do in our main activity, we will create an object, employee, emp is equal to new employee, and it will require four arguments: id, name, designation, salary. Now what we need, as we have to display this information into a list view. So list view requires an array. So we will create an array list here as an instance variable, array list of type employee. So employee my list is the name of this array list, and then we also require array adapter of type employee and my adapter. So what I will do here, so my list, so I will create a list now, my list dot add and then emp. So I am passing an object to my list view, my array list, and then now I will use my adapter is equal to new array adapter of type employee, this the context, and then r dot layout dot sports impulse, sorry, dot support simple spinner drop down list item, comma, and then array list, and then the array list which is my list. After that we have to use this adapter in list view LV. One thing we missed here, we have to find the reference of list view in the beginning. So we will find the list view, rather we did not created the list view object. So we have to create the list view object, list view LV for example, and then we will find LV here. LV is equal to find view by ID, r dot ID dot LV is the name of the list view in our design. So LV dot set adapter and then my adapter. That's it. Now we will see the output. So you can observe that the records are not displayed here in the list view. So we will check what exactly is the problem. So let us check from the beginning. Uh, Here we have to declare this, create a new object for this new array list, and also we will change the context here, main activity dot this. Now we will try whether it is working or not. So here we go. So all three records are being displayed here. Now you can observe here that this toString method is actually whatever is returning. So this toString method is returning the object properties as a string. So we can change this string according to our requirements. So I will delete this imply, and then I will only take the properties without any name of the class. So run again. So it displays ID is equal to 1, name Ali, designation programmer, and salary. So it is not fitting here. So this is how we can perform it. So our next task will be to insert, update, and delete the records. So stay with us. In order to save time, I have created an empty activity manage.java, and for its design, I have created its design like this by using some text, edit text, and image buttons for add, edit, delete, and search. In order to access this activity from the main activity, we need a button. So I have added a button and its ID is btn. So now we will go to main activity, and then we will start by clicking this button, we will start the manage activity. To perform this action, we need to create an intent object. And then later on we will create a method, say manage. Inside this method we will create intent object is equal to new intent, this is a context, and then manage dot class. After that, start activity by using this intent. So when we will click on this button, it should open the manage. For this purpose, on click method is manage. So when you will click on this manage record button, it will open this manage.java. So first thing we need to do is we have to insert the record into the table, employee table, by clicking on this add button. So if I show you here the employee table, so employee ID is actually the auto increment field. So we are not going to add any employee ID, it is automatically created. We need to add e-name, designation, and salary. So we have given some IDs here, EID, e-name, designation, and salary for these fields. So we will use it in manage table. So we have some edit text, EID, e-name, designation, and salary. Also, we are having some image buttons. So with the name btn1, btn2, btn3 and 4. So we will use here some image button. Say for example b1, b2, b3, b4. And the first thing we need to do, we have to find the references of these items, these objects. eid find view by id r dot id dot eid, and then ename is equal to find view by id r dot id dot ename. For designation is equal to find view by id r dot id dot designation. Similarly for the salary. Fine. In the same way, we will find the references for the image buttons. So b1 is equal to find view by id r dot id dot btn1. So we will copy it and then we will paste it 3 more times. So it is b2, it is b3, it is b4, and these are btn4, 3, 2. Okay. Now what is required, once the these edit text are filled, we have to take this data from this activity and we have to insert it into the employee table. So we need connection object definitely. So we have to create connection object, not db connection. Say for example con is equal to null, and we need alt enter to import the class. We need statement object st is equal to null, and we need one integer type variable, say result. Okay, and we initialize it by 0 for example. So what we will do, we will create a method for inserting a record. So we will create it in this way: public void insert. We have to import the class, alt enter, and now first of all we have to get the values into the from this edit text views, okay, into the variables. So we will declare some variables of type string, which is e underscore name, e underscore designation, and we will take a double, which is e underscore id. So not eid, e salary. Okay, so ename we will get from edit text ename dot get text dot toString. Similarly for e designation, is equal to designation designation dot get text dot toString get text dot toString, and for e underscore salary is equal to salary dot get text dot toString, and salary is a double type variable, so we have to convert it to double by using double dot parse double. Okay, after that we need to create a connection with the database, so we will use try and catch exception e, and we will use log.e so e dot get message, and import the class for this log. Alt enter. Inside this try, we will create the database connection by taking the dbcon CONNECT connect is equal to new db connection, and then we have created an object con at the top, so we will assign connect to it. So what is it? Although it is not required, but anyway. And now we will use we will also define a a string type object for query. Q is equal to empty, and here we will write a query. So we will check if this con is not equal to null, it means connection has been established, so then perform something. And what it has to do, it has to create the query. So we will create the query here, insert into imply, and what are the field names here? The field names, we have e name designation salary, so e name designation salary, and the values we want to use are, first is the name, and it is present in e underscore name variable. Then we have the second one for designation, so the designation value is present in e underscore designation, and then we are having salary, so salary value is present in e underscore cell, and now we need to close the bracket. So now we will create a statement object which can be created by using con dot create statement in order to execute the statements. And this time we will not use result set, rather we will use a variable of type integer. So when we will execute statement dot execute update this time, so execute update will allow you to update these records into the table, and it will provide you how many records are being updated in the table. So if we are adding only one record, so it will get only the result will be 1. So we will check if the result value is equal to 1, it means the record is inserted. Record is, sorry, we can use toast this comma record inserted. What if the value is not equal to 1, then we can use else part, and inside it we can use toast. So we'll copy it and then display here record not inserted, right? So one more thing we want to do, once the record is inserted, then all the edit text views should become empty. For this purpose we can create, so we can create a method here, public void say clean. So we will call clean method to clean the edit text, which is eid dot set text and nothing. Similarly, ename dot set text nothing. Similarly, designation dot set text and salary dot set text nothing. And we will call this method after this if the records has been inserted, then we can, rather after this if statement, we will call clean method, C-L-E-A, clean. Okay, so now let us check. So one thing we missed here, we have to use this insert method for on-click event. So we will stop our program and go back to activity manage, use this insert, select this button, and on click, method name is insert. Now we will run our program again. So click manage record. Here we will add some other record, say for example Abu Bakr, and then the designation is programmer and the salary is for example 980.500, and then I click add. So for this add button, it is not working. I have to check. The problem here is we have to call the connection method from this DB connection, whose name is create connection. So connect dot create connection. So it will now call the create connection method, and then we will assign the connection object to our own created connection. Now we will run our program again and check how does it work. So click on manage record. Enter here the name Abu Bakr, designation programmer, and salary is 987.500. Click this add button. So it says record inserted and the fields have become empty. So now we have to check it whether this record is really inserted or not. Right now we don't have any method from here because we can search it from this search button. So otherwise we can check it from our database. So let us check first. So we have inserted the record for Mr. Abu Bakr. So it has been inserted. Good. Next step is we have to write the code for this search button so that we can see whether the record is inserted or not, or even if we can modify or delete that record. In order to search a record, we will create a method public void search view, and then we need to create as we are searching, so we need to create a record result set object. So here we will create a result set object, result set rs is equal to null. Now we will use it here. So try and then catch, exception e, and then log dot e dot get message, and then semicolon. So in this try method we will use we will create db connection, connect is equal to new db connection. So we create db connection object, and then we will assign this object connect dot create connection. Will return a connection object, and we will assign it to our con object. After that we need to apply the query, and the query is select star from employee where EID is equal to. Now we need EID here. So how we can get this EID? So we will get this EID from this search ID edit text, and its ID is search ID. So before this we need to find this edit text, so we can use it on the top as well. So comma s underscore id, search id, s underscore id for search id, and we can find its reference here. S underscore id is equal to find view by id r dot id dot search id, right? So now we can get the value here in our search method. So we need integer e underscore id, and e underscore id we will get it from s underscore id dot get text dot toString, and then we have to convert it into integer dot parse int. So this EID we will use in the query what we are getting from the user. So e underscore id. After that we will create statement object by using con dot create statement, and then result set is equal to statement dot execute query, and the query is present in queue variable. Now as we are accessing only a single record, so we can use if statement. So rs dot next, like I told you earlier, that this rs dot next will perform two things. One, it will give you true and false, and the other one, it will move the control to the next record, means on the first record. Earlier it is not on the first record. So we can simply now set the these text fields here, okay, id, name, designation, salary. So we can get it from here. So eid dot set text rs dot get string 1. Similarly, ename dot set text rs dot get string column number 2. Then designation dot set text rs dot get string column number 3, and salary dot set text, and we are getting this value from result set rs dot get string column number 4. So it will give us this results. So let us try this. How does it work? One more thing, it is always better to close this rs and this connection object. So we will use rs dot close and connection dot close, and we will do the same thing for our above created method for insert. So once it is inserted, then we will make this close. Here we will use connection dot close. So execute now and check. Before executing, we have to apply this for the search button. On click method. On click method is search. Okay, run it. So manage record. If I write here number 5, search for ID number 5, so we can observe the 5th record has been displayed. So check it for number 2, for example. Search again, so you can see all the records are displaying. Now what next? We have to edit this record. Once the record is displayed, now we should be able to change if we want to make it change. So we have to write the code for this edit button. For this purpose, again we will create a method, but it is very easy to do it. The same method what we have created for insert, we will use the same method with a small change. Okay, I will show you how we'll use it. So I will copy this method what we have created for this insert. Now I will use this and change the name of this method first of all, and I will name it modify or update. Then here what we need to do, we need to get the ID also from the edit text. Earlier we were not getting it, so e_id we need to get, and here I will use e_id is equal to eid dot get text dot toString, and then I will convert it into integer dot parse int. So only the thing you have to do is you have to change the query in update employee table set. We cannot set EID because it is an auto generated number, so we cannot set it. So ename is equal to, so ename is coming from ename comma, then designation is equal to the designation which is coming from designation variable, and then comma salary is equal to salary, and no need for this bracket. So update employee set name ename designation underscore designation salary this, and instead of this record inserted we will say record updated and record not updated. Finish. Let us try. Before this we have to assign this edit on click property, so I always forget. On click properties, modify, stop it, run it again. So go to manage record, search for the ID number 5, for example, search. So it is Hussein, so I want to change its name from Hussein to, for example, Hassan. Okay, and now I want to modify this, and I also will change the salary, say for example 800, and now edit. So record not updated. We have missed something here, so we have to apply where clause here. So we will use it here, where EID is equal to E underscore ID, and now we will run it. We will run our program. So if I click here and search for number 1, it is displaying Hassan. So I want to change its name to Ali, and the salary I want to change to, say for example 1000, and then edit. So record is updated. Search again, you will see it is Ali Programmer 1000. We have to write the code for this delete record button. So the same thing what we have done for this modify, we will use the same code for delete also. So it's easy, right? So now I will do the same thing here. I will change the method name to delete. Instead of modify, we will use delete method, but here I don't need these values from the edit text, so I will delete them. I need only the ID, and the thing only is I have to create So I have to change this query. So query is delete from employee table where EID is equal to, and the ID is coming from E underscore ID. So the ID which is present in this edit text view, we have to change, we have to delete the record for that ID, and we need to change this deleted, record deleted, and record not deleted. For this delete button, we have to set on click. So go to manage record, and search for the ID number 6, for example, and then I want to delete this. So record deleted, search again. So you can see it is not searching the record here. So that's all. I hope that you have learned how to create a database application by using MS SQL Server. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum.